Hey, welcome back, everyone. Oh, let me turn Instagram on. We are live. Everything's on, right? We're live talking about Jax Taylor. And the trailer for The Valley had come out. Hey, guys. Well, hey, new peoples. How's everyone? Who's here? Anybody here yet? All right. Well, nobody's here yet. I know TikTok's up. Can you get off the street? Oh, my God, my cat. My killer. Get down. The fuck down. Stop doing this shit. It's literally a mess. So I want to talk about the trailer. I forget what year though. The trailer for The Valley came out. Not only that, we did an episode the other day of Jax Taylor's new podcast episode that he allegedly was supposedly clean, and Brittany and Kristen came out with an episode the next day of Reality When Reality Hits, which is Jax's. Well, it's not Jax's podcast any longer. It is now Brittany and. It's Brittany's podcast. So they were talking about all the horrible things, the things that basically he lied about when he was talking to Alex Baskin, which I said was an absolute freaking disaster. It was a disaster of an episode for him to even come on there. Now, I can tell that Brittany doesn't believe he's clean, but she's not saying that. You can tell when you hear her and Kristen. Kristen gets on my nerves a little bit in this interview, in this podcast episode, because she's like, kind of still kissing Jax's ass a little bit. I don't know why, but it's like they're both still like afraid of him. Well, Brittany's not, but the way that he has treated her, and the things that he just lied about again when he was talking on Alex Baskin's podcast. Like, why? I knew it was a disaster, and she didn't even get into all the lies, but she got into most of them. But let me see if I wait for everybody else to get here. Wait for all the peeps to get here. Hey, new peoples. Thanks for joining. Hey, Q. I don't know if you're still here. But he's a mean husband. He is. I agree. Horrible. Horrible husband. And I still don't know how I feel. Hey, reality TV junkie. I still don't know how I feel about, Brittany staying with him for this long and wanting to have another baby with him. Hey, Instagram. Thanks for joining. I'm not going to see your comments the entire time, unless actually I could probably pull them up. I'll pull them up there. But I appreciate you guys joining. I did an episode the other day with Jax and on the podcast with all his lies. It's admitting to doing cocaine and all that crap, which nobody is fucking surprised. And just the lies that Brittany calls out now is horrible, and just the way that he treats her. He's just a horrible person. I don't think there's any I don't think there's any really hope for him. And she keeps pointing out how his anger hasn't changed. And that's another issue. It's a whole separate issue than dealing with his addiction. The fact that she had to hold this in this entire time. And one, I'm a little upset that she stayed with him this long and had a baby and still wanting to have another baby with him. And she keeps saying, I loved him. I tried. I loved him. I tried. It's like, I don't really know how. I don't know if she... Oh, and the whole rehab for 30 days. That's the whole thing's a mess too. He's not an outpatient at all. The show did make him go twice. So both times he went to rehab, it was because the Valley made him go. So I thought it was only the one time, but it's worse than we thought. They made him go both times. And there's so much more. She said she didn't even really stay, but so I want to first, but the Valley's trailer came out, and I want to play that first, and then we'll get into the podcast. And everybody can hear me okay? I hope you guys all hear me okay. All right. Oh, let me tell you who I am. I'm Reality Kristen Marie on the Who's Starting On podcast, which is on all the podcast platforms. And you can watch the crazy live if you're just listening to this on all the podcast platforms. You may want to skip ahead the first 10 minutes. Usually it takes me minutes to get going because this is a live podcast that I record live, and I don't upload all the episodes, but the ones I do, I am interacting with the live chat. And, if you don't like me talking about personal business, then just go through the chapters and go through the transcript and just skip ahead. Basically, the chapters on the podcast side is very helpful. It tells you basically every 3 minutes what I'm talking about, so you can skip ahead. If you don't want to hear me talk about personal shit, then you skip ahead. And just reminding you, it takes you 10 minutes to get started. It's 5 minutes and I'm about to get started. I mean, this pop culture news for the afternoon. So not a lot of people are used to me going live this early. So, but I do appreciate people watching. But let's turn. Oh, I didn't share this, did I? I never even shared this, did I? Maybe we should give this a little bit. Let me give this a little bit. I forgot to share this. I forgot to share this stream, guys. But yeah. Let me guys put you on a 30-second delay here. I'm not 30-second delay, a 30-second thing real quick, so I can share this clip. Of course, I didn't get a chance to send it, but I'm going to send it now. Let's make sure everybody knows. I forgot to send it out. As I changed the time, it was supposed to be later, so nobody even knows I'm live except for the people on TikTok, and the people on Instagram. But like I said, I'm Reality of Kristen Rain. I'm starting on Podcsst. Follow me on all the things, all the people, all the things. I'm Reality of Kristen Rain on all of the socials. Also, and on the podcast side, it's Reality of Kristen Rain, obviously, but the two starting on Podcsst. And I have usually my friend Larja, she's on with me almost every day, every time I'm on here. So please, her stuff's linked in the description too. So, all right, I think that's the last one. Okay. All right, all good. Nobody knows. I'm not even my manager. Not even my mirror. I forgot to tell her too. Okay. All right. I'm going to play the podcast. First, I'm going to play the trailer. So this is it doesn't start till April, like April 15th or something, which is like a far time away. Like, I feel like the trailer is so good. I can't believe we still have to wait a whole month. Hi, kitties. All right, wrong thing. Presents. Share screen. First look at the trailer. Oh, I may fast forward so I don't get in trouble. I'm speeding it up, bravo. So do not put the 1.1. So do not strike me. Sped up. Okay.
This season on the Valley. Hey, baby.
Yeah. What did you do? What the
We do a catch in my lifetime, baby. Who would have thought Kristen and Luke have the best relationship out of all?
Jaxs has been seeing people. He had a girl staying here at the house again last night.
Too fast. Too fast. Yeah. One is custom 1.1.
There is a song on my bathroom sink. Yeah, it's like, why was there a baby wipe on top of it?
She wiped her vagina and it's on your counter.
It's a new Moby Dick for Brittany.
$20 to start Christmas on.
Y'all are
Weird.
You're mean to my friend. I think you're toxic. I think you're a narcissist. And I'm happy I don't have to deal with you.
Well, this gave me a good laugh, so thank you for that.
Scrotox. Let's freaking shoot your balls up.
Hi, Mr. Kochi, you've been served.
I already told him filing, restraining order, and custody.
I'm at the point where I'm so in love with the man I want to become that I'm just not satisfied with who I am anymore.
Michelle admitted that she cheated on me. I have evidence that she's sleeping with a billionaire for $1,500 a night. Did you not cheat?
You. When Jason goes out, he takes his wedding ring off.
There's been background of Danny getting wasted and pansy and inappropriate.
Sorry, baby. I love you.
That's what and right my boobs.
Well, that's what I wanted to be. That's what comforts me.
You're exhausting. You give pure energy, and I'm done with it.
My husband's not the one out here grabbing asses.
Wow.
You.
What happened? Janet, what'd you say?
You're drunk.
Well, she's a hooker, so it's fine.
I'm the mother of your child.
This is why I feel crazy 24/7. I've never blacked out and hurt my friends.
I can't take it. I want to scream.
You don't know what I come from. We had to get cans out of trash cans to pay rent. I had to sit in my car at the parking lot where I work.
He has people watching me. I'm going through so much. My husband's in rehab.
You have to attack me because you're going through something.
Michelle and I are the most sane people in this whole house right now.
Yes, I'm going through some shit. I just want you to be there for me. That's all I want, Kristen.
To reason it's crazy Kristen, not crazy Janet.
I'm done with this.
Don't make me knock your ass out. Knock me out.
You're a fan, bitch.
I was terrible husband. Good father, great father. Terrible husband. Yeah.
Great husband. Great father? No, sir. Not a good father. I disagree with that 1000% that you are not a good father. Okay. And the fact that she is allowed to take full custody and you can't say shit tells me that you, sir, are not a good fucking father. And that you haven't been a good father. You might want to be a good father. You might say you're a good father, but you fucking aren't because you've been doing cocaine the entire time he's been alive. And you have the balls to be mad at your mom and never talking to her again and putting this poor woman, she'd already lost her husband, your father. Okay. This is one of the worst things. This is why Brittany, there's no hope for her. He hasn't spoken to his mom in 5 years. Maybe just recently started texting her, but she loses her husband, his father. Then he stops talking to her. Then Jenny stops talking to her. Then she doesn't ever meet Brittany, and she never meets. Well, I think they met Brittany once, but then it's a daughter-in-law she never has because now they're divorced, and the grandson that she never still to meet. And he has the balls to have a tattoo that says "Make better choices, love, Dad," because that's what his dad just signed his cards with. Make better choices. The fact that you cut your mom out of your life and you have not looked back or felt bad about it one bit. Poor Brittany. Because there's no hope. The fact you wait till you hear the way he treats her. I mean, this whole crying thing, I can't. Kristen gives him grace here, and I don't understand that. He doesn't deserve it. She can sit there and act they got to act like they think he's still clean. Obviously, Brittany all but says she doesn't believe it. Because why would she? We couldn't believe it last time because we found out you were lying 3 months ago on Alex's Bastions podcast. Now, you've been lying for 20 years, Jax, that you've been doing cocaine for 20 fucking years. You've never been sober. You don't have the balls to even, I don't know where you get the balls to tell anybody that anything about being a mental wellness advocate or a mental health advocate or a alcohol, health thing. You're not in AA, like you said. It's so horrible. But let's get started with the podcast. And I don't have to fast forward it. So I'm just going to literally play it on here. And I will put up her picture somehow, somewhere. No. Blue, 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 blue. Jax, you're a mess. Jax Taylor, you're a mess. A total fucking mess. And it's a shame. And she said, why would I not want him to get clean? Why would I not want him to get sober? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And she's right. Why wouldn't he? I said the other day, why wouldn't she, you dummy? You make no sense. It's he's so angry. And this whole story about the car and all that, and he decided to go for his son. He didn't have a choice. He didn't want to go. Wait, you hear this shit? He's such a liar, dude. It's such a shame. All right, well, I can't find the background. Oh, wait, it's over here. That's why. La, 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 la. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry. Show. Okay. No, I don't know how many times I have to tell you. Can you please get down? Thank you. Please. All right. So this is it's 10 minutes in because they don't really start talking about the Jax stuff until 10 minutes in. They're just talking about pregnancy stuff at first. But I might stop a little bit in between, I guess. It's 40 minutes. If I can hear.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so anyway, I was reacting to the way I felt about that day. That was nice. Yeah. So
I hope you guys can hear.
Let's get into what actually happened. Jax did tell some of the story, but he didn't tell the whole truth. So the night before, I could tell that Jax was out and he was partying, and I know what that meant.
This is the story they told us when he turned around and saw Cruz in the car, and he made him decide he had to go to rehab right then and there. This is the story. He didn't tell us the whole story.
Let's all remind each other that he had already been in rehab the first time for the full 30 days, and you know, I knew he wasn't doing better. I was very vocal about that. Things had not changed, and it had. And so the night before, Cruz had a doctor's appointment, and we had to leave the house at like 10:30. So I was being nice, and I was like, if you want to come to the doctor's appointment, be at my house by 10:30. Blah blah blah. Well, then he started like sending me a bunch of like awful messages and being rude to me the night before, and I said, I can tell you're out, I can tell you're partying. Please do not come to my house tomorrow. Please do not show up. I can go to the doctor's appointment by myself. I just don't feel like it's gonna be good for you and I. He shows up anyway the next morning, even though I told him not to. And our doctor is in Beverly Hills, like at certain times a day that can take you over an hour to get there. So I'm like, we have to go. We have to be there at a certain time. And I kept being like, are you over? And of course, he just lies and denies, and you know, just will never admit what he did the night before, even though I can like see telltale signs on his face. I know he's lying. I know he's lying. So, you know, yeah. But he's still, yeah, I'm coming. This is my son. I'm coming. That was the whole thing. This is my son. I'm coming too. Which is also how you know that he's hungover. Yeah, down, which he said on the podcast too. So yes, we're not putting words in his mouth, but his lack of patience is like it's awful. Infinity. Yeah, it's snapping you. So we finally get to the car and we're on our way. And even though I didn't want to, I promise you, I did not want to. I knew that was a mistake from as soon as I got in the car. So we're in the car, and
Please get down.
before anything happened, he's just coming down on me about the bar opening, being like, "It's his bar," like just screaming at me over all kinds of things before any guy ever texted my phone, because he mentioned on the podcast that was plugged in to the GPS, which it
Liar.
was, and the guy texted me, which all that's true, but he was already in a horrible mood and already fighting with me and making me cry before that ever even happened. Let me make that clear. Before a guy ever texted my phone, he was already at my throat. He was already making me cry. And I was in the car for at least 30 minutes.
What a shame, dude.
We almost pulled over so I could get out and call an Uber. I put me and Cruz in the Uber. Like, it was bad.
Wow.
So then whenever the guy texts my phone, his name pops up on, the screen in the car. He loses it. He starts trying to grab my phone, and Cruz is in the back seat in his car seat. That alone is horrible. So he's reaching over, grabbing my phone, yelling at me.
Why she's driving? Why they're driving? He's doing this. What a fucking asshole.
All this stuff. Then he starts saying the most despicable things you could ever say to your ex. Talking about other girls, talking about how they're going. I mean, I don't want to go into too much details.
Abusive.
Just imagine the worst thing that a guy could say about being with other girls.
Yep.
In front of
Yep.
the girl that they were married for 10
Yep.
years to, or in a relationship with for 10 years. So he's doing all this, and we finally get to the place. I'm bawling, crying, and I'm like, please do not come upstairs. Please do not come upstairs to the doctor's office. I was calling Uber on the way home. Like, there was no doubt about it.
So they can't even get to the appointment, and he's already ruined it with his son in the car. And he wonders why his son is nonverbal.
Go upstairs. We're in the doctor's office. 5 minutes later, Jack shows up and he walks into our room, yelling at me, screaming at me, and then the doctor walks in and he puts on this face like everything's fine, and doesn't act like anything's wrong, and we're doing everything for Cruz. I'm even smiling, going along with it. This is embarrassing. This is our doctor's appointment. Every time the doctor left, why is got intensity? What's going on? What look like? Would not drop it. Would not drop it. Would not stop letting me down. Would not stop to me. And I was just like, this is horrible. This is horrible. Finally, the doctor's office is the visit is over. I take an Uber home. I come home to my house, and I'm like, you're
right, listen.
In here, we Uber, follow behind, do the drop off with Cruz, lock the doors. Cruz is in the house. They thought my nanny was here because she was like cleaning that day or something. She's like literally the best person ever. I love her. She's my family. But she was here that day, and Jax walks around to the back and I have a sliding door, and he just lets himself in. And I'm like, you cannot be in here. It was a really, really, really bad.
This is bad.
I'm trying not to give too many details.
Wow.
But just imagine like how stress. Yes. And Lee, she like comes over and like stands in front of me, and she's like, "You have to leave." So he finally leaves. That's also where he got to that hit and run.
That's what. Listen,
And
he got in a hit and run that day. He was fucking driving, and he got in a hit and run high.
that was the very same day after he left his house. So there was just so much stuff on top of it. When Reality Hits is sponsored
Oh.
by J.Lo Beauty, is Esting Glow. My favorite of the container, I imagine you'll ever need. Head to just for 20% off.
Seems our content. Well, the AC's
Still doing commercials. Okay. This is how so this is when she calls Alex Baskin and all and has an intervention.
So what I did, I called his sister, manager, my publicist, and
Notice not his mom.
And I called all of them, and I was like, "This is horrible. He has not changed whatsoever. He's trying to act like in public
Yeah.
that he's this like mental health advocate, and
Mhm.
he's this and that. And he's so much better. And he's, giving all these excuses and doing all these like victim mentality things." And I was like, "It's not fair." I was like, "I am being yelled at and this is a struggle on my everyday life." I was like, "Something has to be done." So on the podcast,
Listen.
Jax says that he looked in the back seat and realized
Liar.
that Bruce was there. And that's why he had to go.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Listen.
And I don't care. I'm going to call that out. If I hadn't called all of these people,
He wouldn't have went.
Baskin and his job,
See?
yeah, an intervention.
It had to do with his job.
wasn't threatened. Yet again, like it wasn't the first time around, he would not have went. And it made me very upset that he tried to act like, "Oh, I saw Chris in the back seat."
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's whenever I had to go."
Because he didn't do it for him the entire time. He never did it for them. Never did.
And that's what was a huge like anger, like pissing you off, upsetting you, making you
Right?
Yeah. It was like, how did you not do it for us?
Right.
Do it for this. Yeah,
Right.
so when you hear that,
Isn't that crazy? Hey, Tony. He didn't do it for his son. He never did it for Brittany. He did it. That's pretty fucking sad. So he only did it not to lose his job. And that's probably the only reason. He never did it for himself. I told you this the other day. He didn't do it for himself. He didn't do it for Brittany. He didn't do it for his kid. He didn't do it because he saw his kid in his backseat. She said he's still doing the same shit. What a piece of shit, man.
it's like,
Hey, Tony.
he denied he had a problem. And even the night before, Mordred's I'm going to spill because this was over the holidays. So I was having a Thanksgiving. I always host
Can you
like
hear
a
this okay, Tony?
Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving. And I was terrified.
Let me know you can hear that all right. Let me shut the fan off, too. Oh, gosh. That's probably here much better now. Oh,
Was going to show up uninvited to my house because he kept saying, "That's my house. I'll come if I want to," stuff like that. Even though
so this is the Valley, but it's Brittany and Kristen talking about Jax and how, because the other day I was playing the podcast and how he went on the Alex Baskin podcast and lied through his teeth. Well, I mean, we didn't know at the time that he was lying. Again, but we know he is now.
So he said,
The Valley.
that he was going to show up. So I was so scared. So getting everybody involved and him thinking that he might lose his job and this and this and that, he decides to check into a actual rehab facility. finally like starts kind of saying
different than the first
which
place.
is different than the first place.
First place was more of like a mental health.
Yes, first place was a mental health facility, which I desperately wanted him to go to too. You will see that on season 2 of The Valley, like how that came along. But I can only talk about things that are happening recent. But for the second time, we were like, you need to go in not only for mental health, but you need to, you know,
The Valley made him go.
about how you have an addiction to cocaine.
Yeah, being honest.
You know, he fought it. He fought
See?
it. He fought it.
Fought it.
Problem. I only do it when I'm drinking. I don't have a problem. This and this and that. Never would admit it. So finally, he gets checked into the first place.
Listen to this.
And leaves after
one day.
He leaves. He checks in.
One day.
Leaves on Thanksgiving morning.
The second time.
And I'm getting all these calls
Liar.
while I'm cooking a huge dinner for like 25 of my friends that he's already signed out of rehab after one day. And I was devastated. I'm crying. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the worst. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And ultimately, he goes back to the same place that he went to for the first 30 days.
So it wasn't for drugs.
Before. Then he says that he only stayed for 17 days. The
17
second
days.
time. Failed drug tests at both places. Let's make that clear. But still left. Early. Thought that he had had enough.
Failed drug test and left early.
That's why I'm very
So he didn't go.
Weary of it all. Like I said, nobody wants him to be better than I do.
So he didn't even go to a drug rehab. He went to a mental health facility again. Wasn't a drug rehab, and he left early after failing drug tests there. So what the fuck are you talking about, dude? You did not go to get help for your cocaine addiction that you didn't even admit that you had. What a motherfucking liar. This is what I mean. The other day, I'm like almost feeling bad for doubting him the other day.
But we went through this the first time. 30 days, he was sober, got right out, and started drinking again.
And I'm going to be cautious because
Kristen, shut up. This is when I can't stand her.
When I'm not pregnant, I'm not a sober person, so I want to be cautious with my words, and I know you feel the same way, Britt. But like, I will say, as someone who knows Jackson, as someone who has been in therapy, someone who's refused to go to therapy in the past, I have. When he was talking about how he did not need to be there past 17 days,
it's crazy.
Okay, he's not in a position to make that decision.
Thank you. I told you that. I said, who the fuck is he to speak on that?
In rehab for 30
days. It wasn't even rehab.
Facility. Months go by, you're not clean, you're angry, you're not doing the work. You go back 2 weeks.
You leave.
Nothing. No, that is nothing.
Especially if he's admitting he's been, addicted for 20 years.
Right.
Wow.
And so he just wasn't in a position
to say any of that.
Make that decision. Now, like, I'm proud of him for, I'll say, like, starting at the beginning of the podcast. To watch the video. Yeah, I couldn't just listen to it because I wanted to like look at his face.
You could tell
his body language, his mannerisms, and whatnot. Yeah. I can tell how hard it was.
Shut up.
Those words out loud. He didn't want to. No. 100%. He didn't want to.
No.
And to say them out loud.
Shut up, Kristen.
And to say them out loud publicly. I'm curious if he owns that.
No.
When he's alone.
No.
I'm curious if he sits with himself yet, and maybe not yet, but if he even
he doesn't.
Will, Jess, when you're listening to it, I really hope that you
he
will
doesn't.
sit alone with yourself and say,
no,
I have an addiction.
He won't.
And I want to get better. It's not just like a public type thing.
Because doesn't it worry you that he knows that
the
Valley season 2 is about to come out, and that everyone's going to see how bad he was, and it's kind of like
the time is now.
Him trying to victimize himself a little bit and trying to make himself like sympathy.
A little bit, Kristen.
It does make me nervous.
That's exactly why he did it.
I will also say, like, in commending him for admitting this stuff, I think it does hold him accountable. Yeah, for sure. You can't take it back. Yeah, and so I think that is like. Give him a huge pat on the back.
Oh, he didn't have a choice.
For saying that and holding himself accountable.
He didn't have a choice, Kristen.
If anyone supports the behavior, the drugs, the drinking, God forbid he slips, we hope
he already had.
But if anyone in his life does, like,
that's true, Kristen.
Like, I will take you out if you are there
to support any bad behavior by him, because what he needs right now is not yes men. Yes, it is not validating all this bad behavior. He needs real, true friends. They're going to be like, it's fucking great that you're sober. Yeah, we can just go to the movies. Exactly. We can just do this. We don't have to go out and get fucked up to be cool. Exactly. I'll go to that event with you, and I won't drink with you. Yeah. Because it is really hard. And I know that, I mean, it's so not the same thing, you guys, but like being pregnant, I have a hard time going to like events and stuff around people that are drinking, because not because I like really want to drink, but like it's annoying. Yeah, of course. And so for him, I went through the same thing. I mean, it was in COVID, so it wasn't as bad, obviously. But for him, you're like, I think he did word it really well. That
Shut up, Kristen.
He's not like in the need of a drink all the time, but he knows that they go hand in hand. Yeah, I really do agree with that. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yes, he is.
But I do know that it can be really, he still wants to be social. He still wants to go to events. He wants to like go to some things eventually, right? At some point. But he needs to find comfort in it's okay to do those things sober. And yeah, he just needs an army of true friends, whether
God,
by
Kristen.
army, I mean like 3 strong.
He throws all his friends away.
Yeah, we'll support him in that way. But he admitted himself that he seeks that fucking validation. Yeah, he calls the yes people. He calls the girls. Yeah,
The girls.
But the thing is for me, because listen, I really hope that he truly has been sober for these last 83 days. But he's also said to me that he knows exactly how long it takes
There
to
you
get
go.
him out of his system. So the drug test for the drug testing on every Monday, like it scares me. So I am drug testing him myself
Good.
for the safety of my son.
Good.
And I'm going to continue doing that for a while.
He's not that to save his kid. What does that tell you?
It's just so hard because even if he is sober,
He's still
his
dick.
actions have not changed.
I think that's the biggest thing.
And I think
That
that's
sucks.
the hardest. Yeah, that's the hardest thing for me.
Angry.
That sucks.
Like the anger is still not.
But what is he so angry at her for?
Choosing not to control with you.
He's
Why?
like he can control it, but like it's not even just with me anymore.
Why is he so angry with her? What is he so angry about? That's his wife. Remember I said he doesn't expect to speak to his own mother? Like, and that was like almost kind of a valid reason not to talk to her for a little bit. But like, what has Brittany ever done besides protect his lies? Really?
It's with like, and he even tried, I feel like he also said this on the podcast, like how he was calling the girls and stuff. But like, I get DMs almost every
This is
single
sick.
week from a different girl
It's sick.
sending me disgusting messages that he is sending to them. Who's in the right mind would ever want to see that stuff? I mean, it's been
He is
overwhelming because,
DMing.
like, I am trying to move on and get out of this, and I'm getting dragged into all these situations.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to read these messages. I don't want to read this nasty stuff that you're
He's
saying.
such a horrible
threats that
person.
You're saying these nasty, like, sexual messages. Like, how in the world does he think that makes me feel?
He doesn't care.
And these women also.
They're saying the women think like, why would they say
Why
that?
do they? Because they're done.
As soon as he's done love bombing them and he throws them away, they come into my DMs.
Yep.
And it is
Sick.
so crazy. Yeah. Like, I get it. But like,
How many girls
like,
see
Jax
fucking?
also has to stop doing that. Like, you're 45 years old.
Right?
Yeah, you're 45 years old. Like, it is constant for me, and it's just
That's
part
sick.
of like other reasons why I cannot
Who
believe
fucks him every
anything that he
week?
says or does, because I'm trying to protect my son, and every single day I'm seeing like all these different nasty, horrible messages.
Wow.
This is it. Like it's like what we heard on this podcast. Like he's saying all of the right stuff,
But he doesn't believe
and
it.
he's acting on some of it. Yeah, but he's not acting on all of it the way
None
that
of
he's
it.
proclaiming that he's acting. Exactly, and that is the fucking frustrating part. I know for you.
Yes,
and as your friend and as someone who cares about him, but as your best friend, it's like
Kristen,
I
please, you
hear
fucked
some of this
this.
shit and I'm like, oh my god, my fists couldn't get tighter. Yeah, fucking frustration. Yeah, because I don't know. I think the
Because
hard
he's
part is
lying.
that, like, all of this stuff has potential to get better.
No,
Which is
I don't
all
think so.
want. It doesn't have to be his forever. Yeah, I have to believe that.
Why?
But like the bullshit about therapy, yeah, it's like
This is another thing.
Oh, and another, the bullshit about therapy that he goes once a week, also saying on Alex's
That's a lie.
podcast that he should start outpatient. I thought he'd been on outpatient this whole time.
Nope.
That's what outpatient is going to therapy. Yeah. It's going into a facility. Outpatient.
Yeah. So he told me straight up that he's going into outpatient and that he's been an outpatient. And then he says, I think I need to go into out. He contradicts himself over and over and over again. He says that he's never yelled at me sober, which is also a lie.
That's a lie.
There are a lot of things that and I'm not saying I'm perfect. Of course I fight with him. He was my husband. We were together for 10 years. Of course I fought with him too.
Everybody fights Jaxs.
But nobody, but Brittany, everyone knows that. Like everyone who's in a fucking relationship knows that two people fight with two people.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah, but that was the part of the podcast where he shifted.
Mm-hmm.
Everything fucking shifted. Yeah. Second, Alex Baskin said, "Let's talk about Brittany," or however
Why?
he worded it. Jax's voice changed, his body language changed, his energy shifted. Yep. And he suddenly went into this. I treated her this way and admitting blah blah blah. And then in the same breath, it was like, I'm sorry, but yeah, so much I'm sorry, but yeah, it takes two. She did this.
What'd she do?
No, bro. Yeah. No, you led that tango all by yourself.
Exactly.
Thank you. You had her chained to you during that tango that you fucking did to her. Yeah. You did nothing but try. Watch it every day of your relationship.
He did actually.
Marriage, every day, even during your divorce, the amount of time, the amount of energy you put in to try to
hide his thing.
Mm-hmm. When he would give for let's say 5-6 days and be like the nicest guy ever to you, and you were like, okay, great, finally. It would even make you emotional at times. Yeah, there was this man.
Exactly.
This is the fucking man that I thought I was marrying. Exactly. But you were never like, oh, can I be with him? You were like, well, that man's gone. This is really unfortunate. Yeah, it upset you. And then it was like
she should have left a long time ago.
Like he wanted, which was you just falling back into so then he would flip. Sober. Yeah, sober.
He only fucking. I can't stand him on something. I'm telling you, he doesn't give a fuck. I don't know why he hates his wife so much. I don't know what she ever did to him. I really don't understand. He's been nothing but cruel since the day they met. Remember all the cheating and all the shit he talked to fucking Faith?
If he did the prescription, he
he lied about being on the sex pro.
Things aren't great. We had to blow up last night. This is while he's supposedly sober, and I'm only saying supposedly. I hope that he actually is.
See.
But I'm just saying.
And delicious, and it's
Okay.
Progressive insurance, and they'll help.
He, like I said, he contradicted himself so many times. He said he never fought with me sober, and that it takes two to tango. And then he's like, "Oh, Alex, Alex was like, how are things with you and Brittany right now?" And he was like, "Well, you talked to her on the phone last night, didn't you? Things aren't great. We had to blow up last night." This is while he's supposedly sober, and I'm only saying supposedly. I hope that he actually is, but I'm just saying
He knows he's not.
Everything is not changing. Like
He can't blame it all on
no.
What?
And I will support him and be there for him and as much as I can. But how much more can a person take?
Right.
I feel bad for her. It's my start to feel bad for her.
Lost all my confidence and everything.
It's my start to feel bad. I'm being mean to her
for so long. Trying to get him help way before he went to rehab the first time. And he said on the podcast, while I'm talking about this now, is that my wife said I'm acting like I'm depressed and I need to go. And he's like, I tried the pills and they made me. No, he never got that prescription filled. Like, why is he lying?
I know.
Like, I tried. It's sat in my junk drawer forever.
What a shame.
And you know that for a fact.
I remember he texted me. Which he did say. He did say it was right before filming this season. He texted me end of May, beginning of June of this past year of 2024, and told me that he
lied.
Got a Lexapro prescription and was asking me, should I take it in the morning? Should I take it at night? Like, how is it for you? Blah, 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 blah. And then on the podcast, he said, well, it didn't work.
Yeah. I didn't even take it.
If he did start taking it,
he didn't take it.
30 days.
Kristen, she just told you
He
that.
didn't even get the prescription filled.
Kristen, stop fucking listening to him.
It's sat in my junk drawer. And then his sister tried to get him to at least try it.
Right.
Wow.
Just to at least try it. And he did it. And he lied and said that he did.
He's gonna feel bad
he
about
said it
this.
blatantly on the podcast.
And that's not true. It sat in that drawer and I begged him to at least try it.
I mean, you begged him for years.
Kristen, she just said
Years
months.
years, for sure. And I think the thing that really pissed me off, which Jackson, talking to you too, man, like it really, really, really upset me, was in the beginning of talking about you. He, of course, was saying really wonderful things, as he should, but then he said, you know, I respect her. Yeah, I took so much offense for you because that is the problem.
He doesn't respect her. No.
He's Jackson's first in his own story, his own life. And he cares about Jax Taylor and Jax Taylor more than anything else. Yeah.
Yep.
And
he would only got back with her for the show.
Of course, we had good times over the years, and I think that he does, you know, want to be a good father and stuff.
But he's not.
Show me that. Like, how am I supposed to
see
this bit too? I think he wants to be kind to you. I don't think he wants.
What? No, if he wanted to be kind to her, he'd be kind to her, Kristen. Kristen, shut the fuck up, dude.
More like he knows it's not cute.
But he keeps doing it.
But he's not doing the work.
Exactly. Yeah, so let's stop giving him a fucking grace, Kristen.
That he continues on the sober path.
He's not.
More than anything, like addiction is so hard, but it's also very hard
on the people around you.
And I don't think that he realizes all the damage that he's done to me over the years.
I don't think he cares.
And why I can't look past, and why I feel like he's the boy who cried wolf, and why
yes,
to be an intensive therapy. Yeah, because
he is not the way he. The fact that he can't understand any of this is a problem. He should understand every single thing she's saying. She should be lucky that she stayed as long as she did.
External validation. If he were going to therapy, because he says something. Sorry, I'm a little over the place, but he says to Baskin, like, he admits that he needs approval, right? That he needs attention. And he's not comfortable being in his own skin. It's hard for him to sit still with himself. I can really relate to
he's lying.
In your own skin and kind of like needing something, whether it's like a person or drinking or whatever it is.
Me too.
To, like, make yourself not have to think about shit. I mean, I can relate to that too, but I don't treat the people in my life disrespectfully.
Exactly, Kristen.
You know, yeah. So it's like, again, what I'm saying is like feelings are valid. Actions related to those, not okay. Exactly. In that
That's smart.
He says to Alex, "What would you call the need for approval?" He asks him that. Well, if you were going to therapy, you would be talking to your therapist about this. So that's what shows me right there.
He's not.
This isn't even a conversation you started having. Start having that conversation, because I think
he doesn't know.
Being given external validation his whole life.
To his mom. Mom's boy.
Let's say, but even the whole show. This is like 15 years.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. He's been getting all this external validation, so now he's constantly seeking it. And he was always forgiven too, because it was always like, that's just Jax. That's just Jax. That's just him. That's just him. And he was always forgiven. But now I have a beautiful boy in my life, and I'm not letting that stuff fly anymore. Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't have lived for the first 5 years, but.
And you know, you're so strong, Brittany. Like you.
Kristen,
it's extremely hard.
But you guys, it's a shame.
It's just like every single day, it's the back and forth, the back and forth, the back and forth.
The way he's been fucking making her suffer. And, you know, I don't know why she didn't leave sooner.
How do you co-parent with somebody like that? Like, how do you?
How do you parent?
And I feel like getting it the best you can right now. I think by unfortunately doing it by yourself for the most. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, he giving him as much as you trust him with.
No, nothing. Give him nothing.
Like the bare minimum right now.
See?
And that sucks, but whatever. Like, Cruz is literally the best thing that's ever happened to me. So I will just do everything I possibly can.
Please don't have a child with him.
It's been hard because, you know, whenever these things come out so publicly, and then, you know, I feel like I get shamed sometimes for like having a reaction. And it's like, we are public figures.
You get shamed for not having a reaction, Brittany. I'm shaming you for like not leaving him way fucking sooner. Cokehead around your kid.
Know how many women and men who have been in a relationship with somebody who is a narcissist or does struggle with addiction or, you know, is a gaslighter and a manipulator. Like, how many people can relate to what I've gone through? And I feel like it's only fair to speak about it since we have our lives on a reality TV show. You know, I mean, thousands and thousands of women are going to be listening to this, and I hope can try to follow your lead and like knowing that they're feeling.
I've never seen
of,
this stuff before.
Trying, sticking around. It doesn't make you a dumb person to stick around and try for your husband. Yeah,
I mean,
or
no.
your child's father. Like you tried and tried and tried, but also knowing how healthy it is to walk away. Yes, yeah, and you need to and be strong for yourself. I mean, I'm so glad that I found the strength to walk away. That was like
Hit the like button, guys. I forgot I had these reactions. Woohoo! I think I can add like reactions to this too. Hearts. I like the hearts.
one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
I mean, that
It's
sucks.
so hard to leave somebody when you're still love them. You know,
Aw.
like that's the hardest thing ever. But Jax's come downs were so incredibly horrible, and now I can openly say like why I had to leave in the first place.
Oh yeah, listen to this.
Is because, you know, he was just having these horrible come downs. He was going out more and more after the bar opened. He was just going out more and more and more. And he said himself that drinking and using cocaine went along with each other. So that meant I was dealing with these come downs almost 4 to 5 times.
Listen,
and I couldn't handle
a
it
week.
anymore. Whenever I had to move out the very first time, Kristen, we can finally talk about it. I know.
It was so bad. So when she first moved out, and we see, remember when he wouldn't leave? That's because he like almost. I think he beat her.
And I'm thinking about like the stuff he's had to like kind of cover up or make excuses for. Because I couldn't say. I mean, cocaine's illegal. It's not like I could just be like, yeah, but my husband, no drugs.
Listen, she thought she was going to find
I
him
tried
dead.
to get him to stop, especially after we had our son. So for me, like, okay, so me and Kristen went out to dinner. This is before I moved into the first
This is
Airbnb,
horrible.
and I'm glad I can finally talk about this.
She couldn't talk
Me
about
and
this at all.
Kristen went out to dinner. We were home by like 9. I put Cruz to bed. You know, me and Cruz were in bed together. Jax went out that night to wherever he went with some of his friends. He didn't come home till like 4 or 5 in the morning, so he slept in the guest room. He runs into my room at 8 a.m. and screaming and just being horrible to me and making up stories about what me and Kristen did the night before. He did not want me to ever tell people what was going on in our relationship. So he knew whenever I was going out with my friends that I was venting to them. So he wakes up and makes up a whole story in his head and says that Luke texted him. That Luke texted him that I had told Kristen how bad. I can't remember exactly what it was. I had told talking shit. Yeah, talking shit and being and you know like Luke told me.
Let's get down though.
Told me everything. It was a complete
We're
lie.
done though, man.
It was a story he made up in his head. Luke never had texted him about anything. Texted in like over a week or something. Me and Kristen just had a girls' night dinner. I was home by 9 o'clock and in bed with my son. And he came in my room.
I love being in bed at night. I'm such an old lady.
Either you leave or I leave.
This is
And he wouldn't leave, so I packed my bag.
He
and
wouldn't
I left.
fucking leave.
And I'm only telling the bare minimum. I mean,
This is horrible.
What I'm even
See?
saying. What goes on behind closed doors? I'm sure you can imagine is even worse.
Wow.
That was like.
That's
That was
crazy.
what I dealt with almost every single day. The come downs. He made up stories in his head. Almost every single time. It made everything so much worse.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, you can't fight with someone who's like,
You refuse.
believes their lies. Yeah.
He believes his own lies. That's the truth.
A liar, logical liar. So this isn't us just like again shaming.
Like they're so afraid of him.
who's coming out and trying to be sober after
Crying after 20 fucking years.
But the pathological lying of it all, it's like he truly would say it so much he would believe it.
Yep.
And then lie upon lie upon lie, where he could never backtrack because he didn't know where it even started.
Jax.
And even to this day, he's still doing that. So this is
I
why
wanna
I'm having
know
such a hard time.
what
I
he
hope
said.
he's sober. I pray that he is sober. The lying is still continuing. The gaslighting.
I feel like we should
everything is still continuing.
check like
So it's
Twitter
extremely hard.
and see if he's been talking any poop.
But yeah, that's like the main reason. I mean, not the
I don't think
only
I'm blocked
reason.
anymore.
Obviously, you know, I tried and tried and tried for years, but that was the last fight before I had to get into the Airbnb. That very first one. Yeah.
Wow.
And a lot. Yeah. God, this is going to be a wild journey of the Valley season 2. I'm just incredibly proud of you for how vulnerable you were.
Oh, Kristen.
Stripped
You're on my nerves.
Yeah, this whole summer, and your anger and your strength and your heartbreak Like, you really did just live it out.
Mm-mm-mm.
And I can't imagine being such a strong mom and never wavering. But then
Yes, she
also
did for 5
feeling
years.
those emotions the way that you did. So like in such a healthy way.
I hate to
you.
say
Like,
mean. I hate to be
seriously,
mean, but I'm just
I've been trying,
oh, I
my
can't find
best.
anything.
Like, seriously. It's just hard because I don't know, like, what to do next. I really don't
Mhm.
know, because you're
I
basically
hope she moves
waiting
on.
for a curveball. Yeah, it's like he does good for a little bit, and then a bomb blows up, and everything gets bad again, and it's like over and over and over and over. Forward, 10 steps back. Exactly. Yeah. Like, after he got out of rehab the first time, he was 30 days sober, and like I was like, even while he was in rehab, I talked about it on my podcast with Alice Baskin. He was sending me awful messages and, yelling at me on a daily basis. And I was like, I could just tell that it wasn't doing anything for him.
Mm-mm.
And then he gets out of rehab and drinks within a week. Yeah. So, and I knew this all along. And
you let it go.
This has just been awful for me. I've been trying to figure
I
out
feel
how to
so bad for
navigate
her.
all this. There's no handbook. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But all right, guys, that's it. I mean, there's more, but I mean, it's most of the same things. That was like the biggest parts I wanted to play because I feel like I said all this. I feel like we kind of just called him all out the other day, and he was lying. You could tell. And there was like 31 lies in that entire fucking episode that he did with Alex Baskin. But thanks, guys, for joining. Friday will be Beverly Hills. And Atlanta is on Wednesday, and I guess I don't know what starts next, but I think Miami or something. But we'll be talking about the Valley and Mormon Wives trailer came out. So we have a lot of good shows. I'm excited for Bravo. But please hit the like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna go chill and watch TV with my cats and my husband. But all right, guys, I love y'all.